This is from a play of mine that premiered in 2014 called The Late Wedding. And the conceit of it is that it's this series of loose sketches of plays and personal notes that have been left behind by a playwright who's disappeared. And a theater director has found these sketches and notes and decided to just stage them as they are without any editing or anything like that. So you're going to hear the actor performing, in this case me, an unfinished play with these random personal notes inserted as if they were part of the dialogue. So that's the conceit. So we start with the setting of Eleanor, who's talking to a stranger in a bar. Sorry. Eleanor, are you still married? Stranger, I am, but I haven't seen him in 10 years. Eleanor, how come? Stranger, that's a long story. Eleanor, I have time. Stranger, innkeeper, he motions for 2 more drinks. Since you asked me, I will tell. Note, find less clumsy way of segueing into monologue. My husband and I were above all explorers. We had a restlessness that kept us going. In our prime, we combed the earth. We went off-grid, off-road, climbed the heights of Mount Killagard, sailed the length of the Urala River. Those were the days. We couldn't get enough of the world. But in time, our bodies began to slow, and we found it harder to think of new adventures. It was during this time we began turning to the past for comfort. One night, we started talking about favorite childhood games, in particular, hide and seek. Describe hide and seek. Fill in details later. Describe its appeal. Taps into primal fear, abandonment. Also, primal thrill, finding, like the end of the search for love. Should this even be part of this play? Better as a short story? My husband and I decided to play our own game of hide and seek with the entire city as our playground. Here's what we did. The hider left clues. A hint pertaining to coffee might lead the seeker to a cafe. In the cafe, there might be a riddle, which in turn would lead to more riddles. Eleanor, a scavenger hunt. Stranger, a scavenger hunt, yes, with a human being as our prize. Our games grew more elaborate. We took whole days to find each other, then weeks. We hid at friends' houses, motels, then different cities, then countries. One time I found him in a rundown hotel in Peru. One time I hid in a tenement house in Beijing. We became expert trackers, relying on fewer and fewer clues. In time, a fatigue edged in, but we kept going. We were in the throes of a psychotic dare. How long could we play the game, tempt fate, before one of us lost the other forever? Where does hide-and-seek monologue go next? One possibility. We kept upping the ante. We devised a game of dual hide-and-seek, where we both played hiders and seekers at the same time. We started local, renting rooms in different districts. We started new lives apart, allowing chance to play a role in whether we'd reunite or not. You seem perturbed. Eleanor, it's just, what if one of you gives up, starts liking your new life? Stranger, yes, but what could we do? We were explorers, and we had determined our marriage was the last frontier of exploration. So how could we explore its shape if not from its absence? Question, is this too much like the marriage of separate honeymoons that came earlier in the play? Where can it go that's new? One possibility. And so we took our game of hide and seek to its next phase. We decided the next step was to hide our very faces. We had operations done separately with different surgeons whose names we concealed. As before, we left our house and found separate secret apartments. This time, of course, this time with new faces. We began to build new lives and soon fell into new routines, though I can't speak for my husband with certainty because I haven't found him yet. But once, in a moment of weakness, I went back to our old house and found it boarded up and abandoned. But that was only once, and I've never returned since. Trader Joe's, toilet paper, soy creamer, books on grief, pay my children. I've kept tabs on loved ones and family. We're now officially missing persons. The house was put up for auction. Now I work as a janitor at Mayview Elementary in the Southern District. Before that, I was a typist, and before that, a government agent. I changed my face with each job. I'm like a soul moving from body to body. Note to self, bring in the idea of the transmigration of souls. Pay parking, stranger is suddenly replaced by another actor. Stranger 2, pay parking ticket. In one life, I was even a writer. I tried emulating my idol, Italo Calvino. Of course, I couldn't replicate him, but as my novel progressed, emulation became stimulation. Calvino became a vessel for my voice, which had bloomed into something new. I wrote several books in this life, all what you might call dime store spy thrillers. No one could have known they had Calvino in their DNA. Do laundry, reinforce, the actor is replaced again. Stranger 3, reinforce parallel to the transmigration of souls. But hear me well, I haven't given up hope that someday I'll find my husband, though it's now 10 years and counting. I'm still looking. Eleanor turns around and there's yet another actor picking up the dialogue. Stranger 4, I'm still looking into the eyes of others for some glimmer of recognition, a sign my love's returned. And as monologue ends. Thank you.